So you got the idea how the structure look like. So it has a main method class. There's a very basic, and it has a Maven projects and Gradle project, exactly the same structure. So source, main, Java, and then the test packets. And then you have some specific project, the package, and the package containing the models, repository, resources, service, and service implementation, instrument methods, and the resource directory containing all the properties files that we need for running this application. And that's the properties file that we need to externally, when we override the meet with Spring Boot profiling concept, and then we override basically those properties files. That's you got idea. So if you looked at one of the models that we opened it here, it's like this very basic models for the administrative service info. It has annotated documents because this is the Mongo specific annotations. It will build a respective tables name, collections name. You see the collections name in respect to the, and then it has some own attributes and primary key, and then it has some relationship with the address, location info, patient info, with administrative informations. That's I said, if implementation is done, we will put it our source code into the Git bucket. You can look for this one. So you see the basic relationship. It has a one administrative info, has a multiple one-to-many list of the address and location information, and patient informations, one-to-many, exactly same the standard JPA, Java Persistence API annotations, and just this entity, and then table annotations, name, administrative info, and this the simple, very simple things. Just like just I said, we have a MySQL based implementation on the same copy. We try to build it implementation with the MongoDB. That's our intention for these implementations. So you got the idea. That's I mean. So this is, see, we was in the MySQL base. Now we changed it like documents. Like documents is a MongoDB based annotations. It built that collections for specific names. You see the administrative information is specific names. It has ID. It has a patient name, or maybe administrative types, and then health centers types, and then and so on and so forth. Other information, it has many one-to-many related informations, list of address, location information, patient information, and then after that the standard getter and setter. Nothing more, nothing special. That's all finished. Even though you don't need the standard getter and setter, you can use the lambda expressions. You see, all the address location is all the information, as is a address ID. It has a district, Thana, reference ID, division name, Upojala, ward number, and the road name, road types, and road house number, building numbers, floor numbers, and so on and so forth. Even though it has a latitude, longitude for plotting these information, address, location information into the maps. That's why I said it has a dynamic. It has a many content, many possibilities. It can go with geographically, means every information you can show in the maps, and even though without maps you can visualize, you can present this data. I mean, the without geo functionality, but the intention, like the requirement was that they can have a possibility to 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 visualize the every information for demographic, address, location information with maps, and then they can really see where they are distributing their services and things, so on and so forth. So you see the everything is properly designed. It has all the attributes, the itself, demographic informations, that this has all the first name, last names, and birth certificate, national and passport numbers, and his mobile numbers, and so on and so forth, and what type of occupation he had, and then has a link with the every person. Demographic means the person informations, and every person is geographically address location, and address has its own geographical address, means which city he's living, and so on and so forth. This is really complete enterprise level ORM. I mean, the object relational mappings, the modelings. That's you need to be understand. It's not a very simple employer hello world things, but it is the really enterprise level application. That's why I said you need to understand from very beginning level to the end level, how can we fix the requirements, and how can you model those things. This is the most important part. So you see the medical management information, it has own informations. Every medical management information means linked with the many list of patients information. That means maybe they are tracking the quality or service quality for each of the patients, and then which medicine he will take, and when medicine will be finished, and when he will start, and then when he will give it the appointment from the doctors, and so on and so forth. This information, medicine information. That's I say this is our use cases. Maybe you have different use cases, but it's exactly the same structure you need to be implement your projects when you start your implementation, or you fix your requirements, start the implementation, and do it. And very simple way. It is very simple. Just you need to some annotation to be understand, and then define your domain models, expose your REST APIs, expose your repositories, implement your services, and then define your REST controller. That's all. That's I mean. So we'll go to every step. So we define all the domain models for the address location information, administrative information, demographic information, health information, medicine information, patient information, and user registration and user role. These are most important for the loggings. So one of the requirement was every system user, doesn't matter as a doctors or patients, and then or other administrative officer, they need to be registered first. That means the registration is really important part. And then this is the registration. You have a registration ID and it has a address ID. This means the person where is he is living, the address location information. So we tracked it, and it has also, that means I know this the person, I know the registration ID for this person, I know where the person living, and which type of person he is the admin user, he is the executive user, he is doctor, or it's a patient, or other type of the user. That's the information that we can track it and give it the logging privileges for them, for his or her. That's the idea. So we got the idea how the registration process now. So it has its own informations and logging information, the username, password itself, when the user is created, when the registration is last modified, and then it's linked to the address or the person itself, where is the address, and address is linked with the demographic information, his the vocation, person, education level, his status, where he's living, and then marital status, and then so on and so forth. All things is linked to the properly models. That's I say this is the most important part you need to understand when we start the real enterprise level complex applications as a professional application. I don't say complex application as a professional application. You need to be handled like that way. The most important part, you need to be manage it and do it. So registration is a registration. One has their own information. It has a role defined. So user role models is a role defined here. The role means the which type of user he is. Is like has a one-to-many, has an administrative role or executive role, and then this is the user role definition. So is a role type when the role is created. Maybe he is registered today and his role will be defined the next month. That's the possibility when his role is defined, what type of role he has, the doctors, nurse, or other staffs, or patients, or other type of user, the system user that's defined here. So that means user registrations and then user role is only our registration process, our logging mechanism. Other part is our main core functionalities part, all the CRUD operation, all the repository operation, our business logic operation is done by the other models. So you see that we define our paging sorting repository for simplicity, but that's I just said it is depending which type of repository you try to use, but we try to give it to you all the possibility: paging sorting repository, CRUD repository, or JPA repository, or even though in the Mongo specific repository, depending what type of repository you try to use it, it depends on you. But the possibility that I try to give it to, we try to give it to you. You have all possibility, depend how you handle it. You can combine it, you can what you like to. Maybe one domain class in the address location we extend paging sorting repository, that's all. maybe for demographic informations, you need a CRUD repository. But you see that